Campus was abuzz earlier this week as preparations were made for the arrival of President Barack Obama, who came to USC to speak at a rally on Friday afternoon. His trip marked the fifth time a sitting president has visited the campus of the University of Southern California. In fact, USC has had a long history of sitting, former, and future presidents appearing at the university. William Howard Taft was the first sitting president to come to campus in 1911. He returned again in September of 1915, then 2 years out of office. Speaking during the middle of World War I, Taft implored students to remember their wartime responsibilities and to help protect the nation from the dangers of foreign invasion, according to the Southern California Trojan. Teddy Roosevelt made an appearance at the Shrine Auditorium on September 16, 1912, and a massive crowd gathered to see the former president speak. So many people had come, the Southern California Trojan reported, that the crowd eventually forced its way past police and broke into the reserved sections of the auditorium. The 10,000 people who secured a seat in the building were only a small portion of the vast throng outside, the paper said. Another Roosevelt made headlines at USC. Then President Franklin Delano Roosevelt received an honorary degree from University President Rufus von Kleinsmith in 1935. Roosevelt, who had difficulty walking as a result of polio, was driven to the front steps of Bovard Auditorium, which he walked up to meet von Kleinsmith and receive his degree. President becomes Trojan was one of the headlines of the Southern California Daily Trojan the next day. In 1960, presidential hopefuls Richard Nixon and John F. Kennedy both agreed to speak at the university at separate times. Then Vice President Nixon spoke first in October, but was not well received by students. Many felt that the issues which he touched upon were old hat, and that the Republican candidate addressed them as high school students, not as conscientious university men and women, the Southern California Daily Trojan wrote. The political science department was also angry about comments Nixon made when he told aspiring political science majors that they should study the humanities instead. Kennedy, on the other hand, impressed students more than his opponent did. Though his speech to more than 5,000 students was shortened because of a late flight, the Southern California Daily Trojan said students that he spoke directly to them, impressing them with his use of university slang and humor. President Gerald Ford made a speech from the steps of Doheny Memorial Library on October 7, 1976. The Secret Service spent several days preparing for Ford's visit, but, as the Daily Trojan reported, though the agents were trying to act inconspicuous, they stuck out with their suits, walkie-talkies, and new mod haircuts. Thousands of students attended the address, and the presidential motorcade waited outside of von Kleinsmith Center while Ford spoke. Before Obama's visit, former California Governor Ronald Reagan was the last sitting president to appear on campus. He stayed at USC before the opening ceremonies of the 1984 Summer Olympics, which were hosted at the nearby Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum.